What's up, everybody? I'm Jason, this is the Freebird Garage, and we are working on the gas tank for the flat tracker project. Let's get this box open, check it out. Let's get it done. All right, so we are opening up the XR750 replica tank. Unfortunately, it is made out of Taiwan, but this is the only tank that I could find that would fit directly on a Sportster that would adapt to the frame that we have. It's of course made by V-Twin Manufacturing. Essentially fits, well, this one in particular fits from 57 to 78. So we're gonna see how this adapts. This is supposed to be the closest thing that we can get to that tank without spending that massive amount of money. For those that don't know what the XR750 were, it was the Harley flat track factory race bike, and the gas tanks were highly desirable because they were fiberglass, super light. They looked really cool too. They were super slim. Just Google it. I'll show you guys. Maybe I'll throw one up on the screen. Now there are a couple guys out there that still pop them. They are not cheap by any means. An original gas tank probably can go as much as $2,000 alone in good condition. So we're gonna open this up, check it out, see what we're gonna need. Pretty sure I know what we're gonna have to do to get this rolling here. Guess I opened this upside down. Let's get this closed up. You guys can see. Bam. It's about as raw as it gets right there. You can see the welds and everything from when it was made. You got the bung here. We have the attachments, of course, the tabs and everything. We go front and back, and then our rear tail area. This one is particular because it's going to match the look of the tail section. It's also a tad bit lighter in size for the gallon wise. I believe this is just about 2 gallons, if not right under there. But you can even feel like where they literally just grinded it down to clean it up, and it's still there. So there's a little bit of oil on here. Our biggest concern of getting this taken care of is I want to get some primer on this tank so we can make sure that this doesn't rust over and it will be ready for paint at this point. And another part that I'm going to mention that most tanks you should do is you should put a liner inside of here. And what I've been doing the research on is that if this bike is going into any type of racing and is tipped over and smashed on the side of here, that lining will then crack and then dissipate through the tank, get inside the carb, and just make things all nasty. So the only thing I was actually surprised is that it didn't come with a cap. I thought this did. So we will figure that out here. But I would like to shoot this with some primer and see where this goes. But let's get this on the bike and see how it fits. I'm just kind of curious to see where that lands. All right, obviously pretty straightforward. It's gonna lay right up into here. About right there. Once we get them on there, looks sweet. So that'll be the overall look of the tank. I like it. Looks exactly the look that we're looking for. Usually sometimes they even have that cutoff here, but it's formulated to the frame, the cutout, perforated there so it fits better. Looks sweet. So if you want to know what the original one looked like, going from this to that, quite a big difference. And even though some would probably keep the original tank, the reason why we're not doing that is just because it is also a low profile tank. So the other one sits higher up on the whole frame itself. This allows it to have more of an aggressive lower profile. So if you're trying to go faster in the straightaways and the corners, you can lay on this a little bit better when you're trying to get on it. So that should be sweet. Cool. All right, so let's get this set up so we can shoot some primer on it. We need to get the gas cap hole obviously covered before we shoot it with paint. And I don't want anything seeping on the sides here because once again, it's gonna be unprotected in this area. No clear coat's supposed to obviously go in this area either. So if I get any seepage of the paint, eventually the gas would eat into it, you know, when you're filling up or whatnot, and would probably break down and then eventually go into the tank. So we're gonna try and degrease this hole to get some tape to stick. That. And use a ball of paper here, stiffen up the sides. Bam. I'll say that looks pretty good. And the other side here, Have our top and the bung for the gas to come out of course. So let's see if we can get this maybe just taped across here. And doing it with primer first, I always like doing that obviously in general for paint, but also allows you to experiment before you get into the heavy stuff, what's gonna work and what's not gonna work. Because you can always go back with primer or scrape off primer or, you know, fix what you need to. And not have to worry about the major paint job that we're about to go into first. This should be good enough. I just want the bottom to be covered. So I like to get it painted all the way around to protect for any rusting. This bottom underneath is usually pretty nasty, so I'm not 100% worried. There we go. Okay, enough to stay on there, doesn't fall in the tank. And then we just have the other breather hole here. Now we gotta get a contraption ready to figure out how we're gonna hang this so we can paint it. All right, so if you've ever painted before, it's kind of a pain in the ass trying to find how you're gonna hang these things and get to every crevice, because what you think you're gonna get, you're not gonna get for some reason. It's just the way it goes sometimes. And after you get done, you think you got it, and you look over and you realize you didn't hit it well enough. So I use this clothes hanger. These are really cheap, inexpensive. Stole this one from my wife and have destroyed it in the process. So it's now mine, and it works great for hanging parts. I've done the gas tank already on this. So we're going to try to see if we can just float it in the middle, and then we'll get to the second part. So using the eyelets up here, we're just gonna fish this through. There we go. Now we're cooking, okay? So you can wrap it. I use like bale hay wire. It's a trick my dad taught me. It's great stuff to use. It's steadier than regular mechanics wire. So you can put a lot of weight on this stuff and it bends super easy. So, and it's reusable. It doesn't just fall apart after you get all done or tie it up. But, okay. It's not too bad. Let's see how sturdy it is. Yep, sturdy, well enough. So I got two options. We could let it hang sideways like this, or hit it like that. Now, the only problem is that trying to get in this tank, since it's never been painted for and everything's raw, I need to get everywhere as much as possible to get it protected. And trying to maneuver and shoot this correctly, it's the only downside of these bars here, is trying to get up and down in a proper motion. If we were to do normal paint, I probably would have it the other way, and so we don't get any like major drips coming down from here, and it just makes it a little bit easier. But I want to try it this way because I want to get the underbelly more than I want to get anywhere else, just because it's going to be hard to get to. Oh God, the amount of sanding that's going to come with this is going to be fun. But it's all part of the process of doing it yourself. So let's try, hold it there, and I'm gonna get some more baling wire. And I realized that if I try to use the baling wire for the bottom so it doesn't move, because what I wanna do is strap it down to here so it stays sturdy, we're gonna have a chance of getting a line behind where the wire is gonna be at the bottom, where this is up and other way. So we'll leave it as it is, and we'll just shoot it just like this. All right, so I got everything set up outside, ready to go. We're gonna be shooting out at night, so it's 68 degrees. I got my light and everything good to go. There's no need for a paint booth. Normally I have that up, walk you through the whole deal. Done enough paint jobs in my paint booth with primer that it just doesn't add anything additional that would make this any better. Because this is a 2K primer we're gonna be shooting, I've already done my mixture. I'll show you guys the gun as well. But it's 2K, so this is the premium stuff. It allows for a heavy, thick coat of primer. It makes your paint job just that much better if you put the extra time into sanding the 2K. It just fills in a lot of the imperfections on the metal that you got on, or any type of whatever you're painting over. It just helps a lot to fill in those holes. The difference, if you are trying to figure out what type of paint, you go to an auto parts store to sees it, there's another one out there like this, right? Duplicolor, AutoZone, O'Reilly's, whatever you want to call it. They all really have that one. I've used that in a pinch. It's super thin. It comes out really nice. But if you want to sand and get into it, you'll blow right through it, and it's just wasting material. The difference of price, you're probably looking at double to maybe even triple, depending on what 2K primer you go with. It's my local stuff. That's what I was repping. Really love the stuff. Works out great. And then I have my gun set up here. This stuff is super sick. So I have all of my settings on my gun wide open so we can get as much splatter out of this gun as possible. All right, so let's get done. All right, a little better view. Everything came out really well already. Super thick on the first run. No drips, of course, just primer. But looks good so far. Backside looks filled. And we'll see this in about 20 minutes. Bam, primer paint job is finished for the most part. We got about a 24-hour wait period before we can start sanding. A lot of spackle on here from just shooting so much primer out of that gun. It's normal, so we're gonna knock it down to 170 all the way up to 800, and then it'll be nice and smooth, ready for paint. And the way I hung this, not a fan. It moved way too much. I'm gonna try to do a nice vertical way like I did on my previous tank that came out really well. And then that way I can get a nice even gloss finish on the paint, because the way I did this, I still missed up here, and my technique was terrible around because I'm trying to figure out how I can get inside, and it wasn't thick enough still underneath the tank. Now, if you were to grab your brand new tank from your bike and flip it upside down, it would be rough and it's a nasty finish underneath. So I'm not too worried about that. As long as it looks like the color that we're shooting, we'll be fine. The top is where obviously the money's at. So we wanna make sure that's nice and clean. So we'll just focus on getting that sanding and get it finished. We're good to go. All right, but for now, that about wraps me on this one, guys. I would greatly appreciate if you could hit that subscribe button, tap that like, press the notification, leave a comment below and tell what you think. And for those who already subscribed, thank you, and as always, stay free. I'll catch you guys later. Peace.